Well, here to talk more about what this could all mean for the future of the Democratic Party is David Carlucci, former New York State Democratic Senator, and Rosemary Becky, a former Republican New Jersey congressional candidate. Great to have both of you. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Yes. All right, so David, I'm going to start with you. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani said that he and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders are fighting to make the Democratic Socialists the face of the party. I want you to take a listen to what Mamdani said on Thursday.
The Democratic Party must change. For far too long, our party has seen its job as managing decline instead of delivering material change for working people. It has seen its job as explaining why we cannot instead of showing how we can. And that old way of thinking will lose.
All right, so what do you think? Is this the new direction of the Democratic Party? Is this the way the party should go, and should Schumer be shaken in his boots?
Well, I think this shows the depth and breadth of the Democratic Party. It's a large tent, and what works in New York City isn't necessarily going to work in the Hudson Valley, in upstate New York, in New Jersey, right across the river. You look at Mikey Sherrill, different styles of leadership, but I think it shows there's enthusiasm on the Democratic side. And whenever voters have a choice, if it's a Republican or a Democrat right now, they're choosing the Democratic candidate, whether it's a progressive, a moderate, a conservative. That Democratic label is winning. And to J.D. Vance, that advice that he just put up before, J.D. Vance, take your own advice. The Republicans are going off the deep end, following Donald Trump to no length. There's nothing that will stop them. If he says jump off a cliff, they'll do it. So I think it's absurd that J.D. Vance is lecturing the Democratic Party. The Republican Party should take their own advice. And it shows just the depth and breadth, I think, of the Democratic Party.
And Rosemary's sitting here. You're shaking your head. I want us to take a look at some polling, because we can lean on this. There's a poll that finds that 38% of voters think it would be a good thing for the country to move away from capitalism and towards socialism. That's up 6% just from 2022. So, Rosemary, how do Republicans counter the surge in the socialist agenda?
Look, Republicans need to talk about why our solution is better, why capitalism is better, why it's better to have less taxes, less spending. I really think that that's an important message that Republicans are going to have to lean into in November.
All right, and David, neither House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries nor Mamdani are on the ballot for Tuesday's New York primaries, but their political power is certainly being tested. Establishment Democrats versus socialist Democrats here. So look at this. How could the divide on the direction of the Democratic Party hinder potentially beating Republicans in November?
Yeah, look, I think there's nothing sexy about moderation, and that's why some of these candidates are very attractive. But this energy on the Democratic side is really about how do we bring that fight to Donald Trump. And as you heard from Mayor Mamdani, he's saying, look, we have to meet that excitement, and it can't be the same old, same old. So that's what I think is driving this excitement in the Democratic primaries. But I think, look, in New York City, whoever wins these primaries is definitely going to win the general election. And the same is for these races around the country. What you see, whether it's in Maine or in Maryland, the idea is that Democrats want their elected officials doing everything possible because they're so upset, they're so dismayed by the actions of our president. And they want to bring that fight wherever they can, whether it's through legislation or through the bully pulpit. Democrats are demanding action and just vigor from their candidates.
All right, and Rosemary, you were shaking your head as David was saying that Republicans would follow President Trump off a cliff. But if you ask Cornyn, you ask Cassidy, you ask Massey about his endorsement record, it's been pretty good so far ahead of these 2026 primaries, or in these primaries. So is this enough to stop the push from both factions of the Democratic Party that they're making right now?
So, look, I think it is super important that Republicans are out there talking about how far left the Democratic Party has gone. And again, turning the conversation back to, look, our solutions are better. And I think it's important to remind people about, frankly, the One Big Beautiful Bill last summer and the impact that it's had and the good things that it's produced for Americans.
All right. We've got Republican strategist Rosemary Becky and Democratic strategist David Carlucci. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
See you nice and early.